G'day guys. Okay, this is the video to end all questions regarding this matter. First bike dilemma, choices, what are your options, what's it going to cost you, pros and cons, everything you need to know, want to know, or care to know in the one video. Woohoo! Yeah! Righto. Okay, so I've had many a person has messaged me lately with similar sort of questions, and I give responses to everyone. I write back to everyone, PM. That's just the kind of guy I am. I'm a personal kind of guy, so I send personal messages. Oh yeah! Wow, look at that moon. It's very nice. So yes, back to the topic. Lots of people have been asking questions, all them questions about what are your choices and what's a good first bike, and you know, should I be going for the Kawasaki Ninja 300 because it's brand new and awesome as a first bike, or should I be buying second hand and then spending all my hard-earned cash on a better second bike? Okay, I'm going to cover all of this, so strap yourself in, grab yourself a drink, sit back, relax, watch my video, and hopefully you get your questions answered. Righto, what are your options? Okay, so you're new to biking and you want to get a bike, alright? What have you got to choose from? You've got brand new market or second hand market. I won't go into that, I'll let you decide whether you want brand new or second hand. But you've got your 125cc's, you've got your 250cc's, now you've got the 300. That's all learner legal. You've got different styles of bikes to choose from. You've got your uprights, your nakeds, your sports, you know, you've got your dirt trails. They're quite good too, big respect there. I'd love to be able to just go off-road on this thing. Obviously I can't. Anyway, you got your cruisers, you know, Ninja, Kawasaki even puts out a Ninja 650, which is learner legal, believe it or not. A big, sort of heavier, bigger bike, a bit more power and torque. But you know, that's a learner legal bike too. I think it's got a throttle restrictor on it. Just like the ER6, which is a naked, an upright. They make an ER6L, so that's another option, but you know, you're looking at more money there too. So anyway, back to the topic. Now, it's more than just money, you know, like say you're comfortable with your money, you know, you're not loaded, but you're not poor. You just got enough money to get by, and it's not a real issue. Then, you know, you can go ahead and buy the Kawasaki Ninja 300. As a great, oh, stuff that bend up, as a great first bike. It's good fun, it's a great commuter, it's cheap on fuel, and it's great fun in the twisties. Are you going to lose money when you go to sell it in a year? Yes, of course, it's a new bike. You're going to lose $1,500 to $2,000, I'd say, easy in 12 months, which is quite a big loss. Will you need to sell it in a year? Well, I can't answer that question for everyone. Me personally, yes. I'm looking for an upgrade. But that's really up to you. If you rarely get out in the twisties, you rarely go on the highway, or maybe you're just quite comfortable with the power that this thing's got and you don't feel you want any more, then you know, you might keep this 300 for years and years, and that's great. It's an awesome bike. There's nothing against that at all. I'd say, what I've said to a few people, the smart thing to do would be to buy a like I know, you know, it's you're new to biking and you're like, yeah, you know, I want a sick bike, man. So you might want to go get that 300, and that's how I felt. That's what I did. But I'd say the smartest thing to do would be to buy a cheap, reliable, you know, as reliable as you can for the money, second-hand 250. You know, it might have a few scratches on it, it might be a bit beat up. That's okay, because you know you're learning and you're probably going to drop it anyway, and then you won't be too upset if you do drop it. Whereas you might be a bit more devastated dropping a brand new bike, depending on, you know, the damage. But being a brand new bike, you'd probably have insurance. Well, I'd hope you'd have insurance on it anyway. So, you know, there's lots of different options. You know, that's probably the smart thing to do. Get a second-hand 250, learn on that. Of course, depending on your riding experience, you could go get your license and not even purchase a bike. You know, if you've ridden dirt bikes or something and you're quite confident, you could just wait till legally you can, and you could go buy a 600 or a litre bike, and that's technically your first road bike. Probably not the smartest thing to do, but once again, what's right for Joe Blow isn't exactly right for John Smith, you know? Or just because something works for me doesn't mean it works for you. So that's your options. People are saying to me, you know, why should I buy a second-hand 250 for like $5,000 when $2,000 more, like $7,000, will get me a brand new 300? But then they're saying to me at the same time, which I agree with, yeah, why would you buy a second-hand 250? But at the same time, they're saying to me, oh, I don't want to go spend $7,000 because I think I'll be looking to upgrade in a year, you know? Or they're asking me, is the power of a 300 satisfying enough, you know, to keep for years and years? And personally, I'd say no. Like you've probably watched my acceleration video, and that's pretty good for a 300, but it's, you know, it's like, I think most of us riders, well, at least the ones that ride road bikes, you know, we get off on that rush, you know, opening up the throttle, ducking down low, you know, barely even watching the speed. You're just having fun. You're just going for it. I think that's what riding's all about, having fun on the bike. And I have heaps of fun in the twisties on this bike, but you know, straight line, I'd love it to have more power, getting on the freeway and that. But you know, all in good time. I sound really impatient, hey, but I'm not. You know, the next 10 months for me on this bike are not going to be torture at all. Having a lot of fun on it. What else have I been asked about this bike? I've had a couple of guys saying that they've had some problems with 300s. I mean, what bike doesn't have problems occasionally? I mean, you wouldn't want it too many on a new bike. I've had problems with the front rim on this, but that's been rectified under warranty. One of the joys of buying a new bike is that you get things like that sorted. Whereas you buy second hand, you might have a major problem, you know, and obviously there's no warranty second hand. You got to fix it yourself. I guess, you know, it really is a general kind of answer. It comes down to personal preference. It comes down to your financial status, how much money you've got. It comes down to your riding experience and whether you're going to jump on a 250 after coming from like a two-stroke dirt bike and go, man, this thing is slow as, you know. Don't even, all of you, doesn't matter what background you come from, don't waste your time with a 125 unless you're in the city and, you know, you don't like mopeds. Then you might get a 125. What was I saying? Yeah, but if you got any freeway to do at all, don't get a 125. You'll be wasting your time and your money, and they're dangerous. Okay, pros and cons. Let's look at the pros and cons. All right, new Kawasaki Ninja 300. Pros: it looks good, it goes good, it's brand new, so you have warranty. And it's probably got fairly close to the most power you're going to get on a learner bike. I know there's some faster ones, but yeah, it's pretty close, I guess. Cons would be that it's more expensive than a 250 or a second-hand bike. Still not as expensive as the ER6, but depends what you like. So it's more expensive. It's a new bike, so if you scratch it, you're going to be more upset with yourself. What other cons have we got of the 300? Well, you're going to lose money because you're going to most likely most of you are going to want to sell after a year. You know, you might be still happy with the bike, of course. Even when I sell this bike, I'm going to be happy with it, but I'm going to be looking at that R6 or looking at that, you know, ZX-10R, and I'm going to be like, shit, damn, I want that, I want it so bad. Which I sort of say now, every single time, doesn't matter where I am or who I'm with, I'm all like, give me that bike. So anyways, that's what I'm saying. Pros and cons of buying the second-hand bike. Let's start with the pros. It's cheaper. You're not really going to care too much about it if you lay it down, scratch it. Of course you're not going to be happy, but you're not going to be like devastated because it probably had a few scratches on it already. Insurance will be a bit cheaper. It's only a $250. It's not a $300. Probably won't make a lot of difference, but that's one thing. And yeah, I mean, the cons of buying a second-hand bike, it's not as quick, it's not as fun, arguably, but not as fun. Doesn't look quite as good second-hand, no warranty, and possibility for engine problems, things to go wrong. So you really got to, if you're you know, thinking and you really can't decide either way, get a little pen and paper and jot down your pros and cons, weigh it up. But that's only, you'd only need to do that if it was a real struggle of a decision for you to make. If you got the cash sitting there and you don't care what it costs, you're just stoked to be getting into biking, and you're like, man, I don't care, $7,000, you know, whatever. Or, you know, maybe it's on finance, or maybe you got the cash and you're just like, bam, I want to be out there, I don't care. Then yeah, go for the Ninja 300. If it's a real stretch to you to the point where, you know, you're going to be paying it off for like a year or two on a personal loan, and I mean, even then you still can, nothing wrong with that, but my advice in that situation will be to go for the cheaper 250. Wait, if you can, pay cash. If you can, definitely pay cash, and then save that loan if you need a loan until you get your bigger bike. Make it worthwhile, you know, because the repayments on any of those personal loans are so high, you may as well have it, you know, worthwhile loan for an awesome bike. What else on that matter have I been asked? I'm trying to think back. In my mind, I'm going through my inbox and trying to remember what some people have asked. I'm pretty sure I covered everything. Fully sick 32, bro. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I covered everything. Oh, look at him go. What was I saying? Yes, I'm sure I covered everything. I'm sure, but then again, I'm sure I've missed something. But like, I just made this just to answer a few more questions and elaborate a bit more, because I've had a lot of questions. I don't mind the questions. I like reading your stories and answering your questions. No problem there at all. I like your feedback on my videos. You know, let me know if you like them. Let me know if you don't like them. Haters gonna hate. I watched this other video the other night there. I can't remember his name. This is like 4th gear. And this is like 5th gear. Oh, what? That's 6th gear. My bad. I was actually one ahead of myself. Yeah, watch this other guy. He's an Aussie, I think. He's down south somewhere, Melbourne or Sydney. And I can't remember his name. I think it was like A Rider's Life. I think that was him. I haven't watched any of his videos apart from this one. It was something to do with like pedestrians. And I gotta admit, I just started laughing so hard. Like, cause his bike's loud, man, and he pulls in the clutch and like revs the shit out of his bike when he's passing pedestrians who are like, most of them were in the wrong. You know, most of them were like crossing the road when it was a red man, and they should get off the road because it's dangerous for everyone. But some of them, I'm pretty sure, were just crossing side streets, and the speed he was coming up, like, he really didn't give a lot of time for the pedestrian to see him coming or get off the road. So, but man, there was a lot of people abusing this guy, like a lot of people just saying, hey man, you know, you're an absolute asshole, like you're gonna kill someone or something. I'm sure he was in full control. But if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. It's pretty funny. Like, just because he's like, I'll just go watch it. I laughed anyway. I mean, I don't know if it's right or wrong. I don't really care, but it's pretty funny. It would absolutely scare the crap out of me if I was crossing the road and then this bike just comes up like, because he was pulling in the clutch and it's redlining it, like revving it, hitting rev limiter. That's what I was looking for. And yeah, it's like pretty loud. It's got this weird little bug-eye bike. I don't know what it is. Anyway, well, guys, I'm going to end it there, but hopefully this has cleared up a few things. I know my wind noise on the mic's real bad on the freeway, so I don't usually vlog on the freeway. But yeah, look, I hope it's... Any more questions, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer your questions. But as a brief overview, either way you go, you're going to be happy because, you know, life's better when you ride. So you're going to be happy either way. And at the end of the day, if you save some money buying a second-hand 250 and then you see other 300s on the road and you're like, oh man, I should have got the 300, don't beat yourself up too much about it because, you know, another year and you're probably going to have that 600 or leader bike anyway. So don't stress out. Alright guys, take it easy and hope you liked the video. See ya.